Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emerald the Quilter, and I'm so happy to share with you today my completed Icebox cookie quilt top. So it's right here. All the sashing and all the borders are done. This quilt top was made with primarily Solana, which is a fabric line by Robin Pickens, and my accent fabrics are green fabric that I had from Connecting Threads. So this is the Perfect 5 Quilts book, so if you are interested in making this quilt or the other quilt that I've made, it's from this book here. Now I also have to show you today my batting right here. My batting is pieced. Last time I pieced 2 pieces together. This time I have 1 seam here and 1 seam on this side. So a total of 3 pieces. I'm excited to use my batting scraps for these smaller quilts. And I also have my backing picked out. I was initially, because I have quite a bit of it, I was thinking of using this dark green for the backing and possibly the binding, but I decided that this quilt top was just so summery and so happy that I didn't want to darken it. What I ended up going with is this warm yellow. I'm not even sure that it's cotton. It kind of feels like maybe it's a cotton polyester blend, but it's an older line because I don't ever remember seeing selvages like this. So if you know what this type of selvage means, let me know in the comments below, but the color works out great, and so I'm going to use it. Now this quilt measures at 50.5 inches square, and unlike our last quilt, this one is too large for me to pin baste it on my table. I'm going to have to use the floor, and I've kind of cleared out some space, which is why I'm looking over there. And I'm going to use one of my favorite quilting tools, which you do not purchase at a quilt shop. It's painter's tape. So I'm going to use painter's tape to lay this fabric flat and keep it still on the floor, lay my batting down, and then the quilt top. So after we are done with that, I will take it to the sewing machine and show you how well pin basting it on the floor with a larger quilt helps keep your sandwich together as you're free motion quilting. So let's get that started. I'm zoomed in here a little bit because I wanted you to see closer my pin basting. So I have my little jar of pins, and just like last time, I try to find the center, and I'm just going to work my way outwards. Here I'm going in the sashing of in between every block. If these blocks were a little bit larger, then I would consider adding an extra pin in between. But because the block sizes, they're not too large, and the distance between each pin isn't too great of a distance, it's going to be okay for me to free motion quilt it. Now, over here where I know I had like those few waves, I think it was somewhere around here, I'm gonna go ahead and add like a couple extra pins around there, just in case it doesn't hurt. It will help stabilize the batting inside. Okay. So I'm going to continue. And I can't forget also the borders, so let me do this side. And come over here. And I've pin basted almost the entire center, and I don't want to keep going if the rest is going to be off screen. So let me pause here and zoom back out. Okay, I'd say I'm about a third of the way done. It's also good to keep in mind that when you have a lot of piecing in your quilt top, you want to add more pins because there's more seams and you'll have more movement. These blocks are beginner friendly. There's just a few seams. It's simple. It's just rectangles and squares. They were easy to trim. You know, I didn't have difficult angles to work with here. So the quilt top doesn't have a lot of movement in the seams, and there's not really a lot of seams. So keep that in mind whenever you're also pin basting your quilt tops this way. Okay, I have this entire top border to do. And with this quilt top, I had been on the fence with free motion quilting it or using a walking foot, but I'm thinking that incorporating some flowers onto this quilt top will be so pretty because it does have sunflowers on it. Now, I don't think I can draw a sunflower, but I can definitely draw some kind of flower. So that's what I'm gonna do. This has got like ½ an inch of batting. We're gonna make it work. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing that if you had a very large quilt because your quilts will inevitably move no matter how well you base them. But this one, it's not too big. Just a few more to go. Missed a couple spots over here. 2 more and then I'm done. All right. So the next thing that I have to do is cut along this bottom part. I have probably about 25 inches of yardage heading that way that I can cut off because I don't need to keep all of it attached. That would just add too much weight. And so I'm gonna grab my scissors. These are my Gingher scissors. I think I got them in Amazon. I'll put them in the links below. And I'm gonna use these to cut the extra backing and batting that I have. Okay. This is going back into the cubby along with my other scrap batting. This large piece here I'm going to take off of the floor and remove this painter's tape. And yes, it is like a weird size now. It's not truly a yard anymore, but it's very large and it can be reused again very easily. And I do like to fold my fabrics immediately so that they can just stay tidy and it can go back into its little spot in the cubby. Okay, so those are ready to be put away. And now I have to iron it out from the back first because that's the fusible is on the back of the batting, then the front. I'll set up my machine and then I'll see you there. I've ironed my quilt sandwich on the back and on the top, and all my pins, except for one I just pulled out just to make sure everything looked good. And I'm going to move slowly as I get to those pins because as you can see back here, the foot on your free motion quilting foot sticks out quite a bit and you can accidentally bump into a pin. And when you do that, it distorts your quilting design and sometimes in fact, you just have to pick it out because it's very noticeable. So I'm going to just gently keep my hands on the quilt sandwich and move them as I go along. Okay, so I've made one flower, and as I move through the quilt, you'll be able to see the design better. Okay. just take a peek at the back. And that's looking good. This is just a thread that got caught in the way. Right there. This is where I went over many times. And now that I'm coming closer to the left side of where this pin is at, I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to go back on this side that I just came off the quilt from so that my swirl now goes in the opposite direction. So here I'm adding petals. Okay. I'm going to take a peek again. See that it looks good. Now all of my flowers are not going to be the same because I'm not using a stencil, and that's okay. All right, I'm going to come back down to this edge, clip it, and then show you what I've got so far. So I did trace my way back in the swirl of the pattern just so that I can come back this direction. Okay. Okay, I pulled the quilt top out from the sewing machine, and you can see my quilting design. I've got just swirls and flowers together. It looks nice. I know it was kind of hard to see in the sewing machine, so I wanted to bring it out. Here's a view of the back. I brought it over here to the cutting table because the lighting's a little bit better. And I just wanted you to see those swirls and flowers together, how they move about. I did do just a little bit more of quilting, and you can see how they spread. It looks really nice. I'm happy with it. And I'm pretty sure that this backing is actually made of cotton. I wasn't so sure, but after ironing it real good, and I turned the heat up on the iron all the way, well, it's always set on the highest setting, which is the cotton setting. It didn't change the fabric, like melt it or change color. Like, I've used polyester fabric before, and it does that. So this didn't do that at all. So I think it's just because it's older and it's thinner, more fine. It just feels and looks a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure that it's cotton, which is exciting. So here it is. The next time we see each other, I will have this quilt top completely done and bound. Here is my binding fabric. This light brown is one of the Bella Solids by Moda Fabric, and I picked it out because it goes really nice with the outline of the sunflower. Let me see if I can bring them close together for you to see. There you go. I like the way that it looks, and I think it's also going to go great with the backing. Now get your materials ready, because the next time we see each other, and it is going to be a while because I need to take a break, I am working on a show quilt that needs some attention, and I don't want to be late to turn it in on time. So I'll be doing that, but when we see each other again, you're going to need your materials for the animal cracker quilt. So that's what it looks like. It's from the same book, Perfect 5 Quilts by It's So Emma, and can't wait to get started on this. For this quilt, I will be using Apricot and Ash by Corey Yoder. And until then, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, quilting with me. Like and subscribe and to receive those notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye.